Okay.
Awesome. Welcome everybody. We are back with another very exciting talk. Today we have one of the legends here that's come and blessed us with his presence. So Kobus has started many things in South Africa in the cannabis space, made countless opportunities for people. So it's an honor and a privilege to have you here with us, Kobus. Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
No, lekker. Kobus, just for the viewers that aren't too familiar, you mind just doing a short introduction?
Yeah, well, after something like that, that's quite interesting. I'm just a normal boerseun, a bit of a hippie boerseun there from Mooinooi. Currently living in Oudtshoorn in the Western Cape, and I run a company called Grow One Africa, which helps people in the cannabis space.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for having me, and I love the intro, but yeah, I'm just a humble servant of what's happening in this industry. Yeah.
No, 100%. We felt like it was necessary to show the respect there. So you were very involved in the agricultural side,
like with permaculture and all that,
and things like that. Eh? And how did it go from like the permaculture to the birth of?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a natural progression. If you think, I'm a farm boy, grew up on a citrus farm, like I said, in the Northwest Province. I saw the mines in the areas, it's known for mining, platinum mining. I saw the destruction of the mines, and I've always been a bit of a greenie and softy at heart. And we just progressed into community projects using the natural resources, starting a little permaculture training facility and trying to upskill people to empower themselves.
Yes.
So I think when cannabis came along, also being a natural resource, I felt kind of it's our duty to exploit it or explore it as a sustainable opportunity for us, not something like the mining sector where companies just came in and exported all the money and took all the resources out. So my wife and I always joke and say that our whole lives has led up to this, and it's quite a mix of experience that's brought us here. But it's definitely a big passion of ours. So the permaculture started, like I said, with small community projects, and until decriminalization, when we realized that now cannabis is also something that is a household product and a commodity that we can grow for ourselves, and that's basically where the whole thing got started.
Yeah.
So instead of just having vegetables in our gardens, we started adding cannabis plants and unlocking that potential for people.
Yes.
Nice.
And you've managed with Goa, you've managed to bring cultivators and clubs and things like, made it more available for people, made it accessible, and you've made an easy way for people to get into it. Could you just give us a little bit more of a breakdown on how that system works?
Sure. Yes, and it always takes a lot of explaining to tell people that it's not me doing the job, like it's all of the processes, it's all of the cultivators, all of the clubs, like the systems in place. Basically just facilitate the relationship between club members. So you have certain people who require cannabis products, and you have other people who already cultivate and process them.
Yes.
And the platform just makes it accessible for cultivators and processors to be contracted out to cultivate for other members. So when you join a club, you would fill out a needs assessment. This would include what kind of products you use, what do you use it for. On the other hand, we have people filling out cultivation or processing plans, just indicating how much they can grow or cultivate, and the system basically just marries the two together and then facilitates the contracting.
Yes.
And the beauty in that is that the supply always follows the demand, so it's purely a facilitation of needs of the members. So that's why when people give the system such a lot of credit, we can't really take it because it's everybody making use of the opportunity that's building it up to the point where it is. So yeah, on the club side, it's mostly administrative things that we facilitate, and this is all done luckily electronically, so we can sleep easy, that we're not cutting down too many trees. But yeah, that's basically what the system
I believe
does.
you guys have your own app even to help with all this and all that.
That's been a journey. Yeah, that's been a long journey. It's been countless hours and quite a few years even over our project date, but we just recently launched our cultivation side of the app. So what that basically is an offline app that cultivators and processors use to track the compliance on their sites, to take pictures of all the signage they put up, all the demarcations, and then also to log the grow diary, you know, all the additives you put to the plant, also to capture the pictures of a grow report. So we're currently rolling that out to the existing cultivators. We'd love to have that available, open to the general public, you know, later next year.
Oh wow!
Okay,
But
so
it's
close.
yeah. Well, it's already operational. I'm just one of those guys that likes to have something work before I tell other people that it's working.
Software development is a
Make it-
thing.
make
Eh?
it-
No, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. But yeah, it's just giving a little bit more power and credibility to what we're doing. You know?
Absolutely, to make sure that it's grown in a compliant space, that it protects everyone's rights at the end of the day. You know,
So
when the
One
members
thing
come to the club.
that definitely stands out about Goa is the strict compliancy that you guys have with the plants and things like that, which is nice. It's a self-regulatory system,
Yeah.
and you know, you can meet whatever. When they give us the legislation, you guys already have a framework for it, which is perfect.
And maybe an over-regulated one, but you know, on purpose, because if they require that you track all the plants within a 3-meter square block, we're tracking each and every plant. You know? So we can always relax the measures, but you know, it's going to be difficult for people to step it up once it gets there. Yeah.
No, 100%, 100%. And how has things changed for you guys since the Concord ruling and stuff? It's been a massive victory for all of us, but now it's 4
Let's
years.
take that
down the
one
line.
step further. Like, how
Yeah.
do you think South Africa has changed since the Concord ruling?
Yes.
Look, I was joking yesterday and saying that 2018 ruling, I think most parents found out that their kids smoked weed on that day, or that they watched the news, because everybody was so excited and like all of a sudden following a court case, and parents didn't know what was going on.
Yes, yes.
I wasn't involved in the cannabis industry before that day. I used to smoke cannabis, but I've always been a very, you know, responsible person. I actually heard that in high school I used to punch up the stoners that were not playing rugby, you know. Like, I've heard bad stories about my previous self, but I think you know, the way that the industry itself has changed. I mean, just the quality, the consistency, the range of products is tremendous. You know, the expertise that are popping out, the opportunities. It's incredible to see.
Incredible. Just
It's an explosion.
exploded.
But then on a national level, and I'm glad you asked the question, it definitely makes a difference. You know, we had Dagga Dave driving through the country with a bucket plastered full of Dagga leaves. 6,000 kilometers later, he's never been pulled over. Like when he gets to a roadblock, people are hooting at him, cops are waving at him. And I think the whole perspective is changing because people are seeing it as some, you know, solution, or there's some kind of hope that the plant brings. As far as legislation goes, obviously we haven't seen anything, you know. We were supposed to have something in 24 months' time. We're sitting at 48 months next month. And that's quite frightening. But I don't think the industry, you know, really held back. I think we'll see a lot more development. But I think the innovation and the pressure that it's putting on people is making them even more innovative. You know? It's going to be difficult, just like illicit cigarettes and things like that, you know, to turn an industry around. Government better flip and hurry up, you know, because systems are getting so sophisticated and channels and networks are working so well that people are self-regulating. They're not waiting for regulations. So I think if we think the last 4 years have been interesting, then check the next 4. The next 4 are going to be crazy.
And what's your crystal ball telling you for the future of cannabis? What are you expecting to see?
Look, I'm a very optimistic person and I'm very passionate about it, but I also know that I'm haastig. There's not a good English word for that. I'm always in a hurry and I want results a lot sooner than they realistically can happen. But if we look at it, what's happened so far, we need at least 2-3 more years for proper legislation, proper permit or licensing frameworks. But in 2 or 3 years, the exponential growth in the cannabis industry is just going to put so much more added pressure on government, you know. So my crystal ball tells me a lot of opportunists, a lot of oaks taking a lot of chances. I think this year we'll have the most 0.2% THC hemp that you've ever seen in your life. People are smoking and doing all sorts with
drinking it,
exactly,
eating it, making it, all sorts.
But you know, I also think if you realistically look at it and you see what happened overseas, it's the people that stuck to their guns, that did what they do best, that, you know, applied standards to themselves, that complied to things, that made it work. You will always have chances, you'll always have people taking shortcuts, And historically, that's not something that lasts long.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. So I'm predicting exactly what's happened the last 4 years, but just 10 times as much. You know,
Yeah.
10 times as much. And I can't wait. It's exciting times to be a part
Yeah.
of it. You know?
It is a magical thing to even be alive during this time, and now we can actively participate in it. You know,
No, it's stunning.
The funny thing is, if you look at cannabis, we like see like the past, the prohibition as such a big thing, but it's only been for such a small amount of time. If you look at like the history of cannabis
Yeah.
use, it's only been such a small portion of humanity
Blink
where
of
we
an
said,
eye.
okay, we shouldn't grow this,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
For that, it's always been used as
Okay.
traditional
Yeah.
medicine.
and would you have any like suggestions if you were now tomorrow morning you wake up and you're president of South Africa? Is there anything you would change in the legal side of things, or you would suggest?
Look, I think everybody's looking for a silver bullet and to make it an easy solution, and there's nothing like that. You know, if you make the simple suggestion just to change cannabis from a dangerous and dependence-forming substance, then we don't need to change any laws. You know?
Exactly.
Then we can just go ahead and, you know, we can build a proper industry. But it is a very powerful substance, all right? So we cannot just open it up like that. We cannot just over-commercialize it. So I would listen a lot more to the private sector. I would definitely drive things that create jobs. I would not listen to a bunch of clever consultants sitting in offices and working things out on spreadsheets. I would go to the people on the ground. I would go and check how it actually works. You know?
The guy that's
Who-
actively doing it.
Exactly, and who's getting the benefit? What does it actually take to put something on the shelf? What any kind of cannabis product, because the same thing with industrialization now. A lot of people are sitting in boardrooms talking about importing machinery from Europe and getting a 10 or 15 million rand machine to come and process all this hemp. We don't know how to grow it. We don't know who to sell it to. You know, so why not? While we learn all those things, why don't we create more jobs? Why don't we make it more manual, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what we should definitely look at, all these international solutions, and just make it make an African solution for it, a South African solution. So I feel that's something we're lacking. I think the advisor to the presidency now, to an extent, is a good move, because it's the old SAB guy, Strachen, General Strachen.
Yeah.
Business-wise, it makes sense, all right? But are those decisions going to be made on the ground or in a boardroom somewhere? Because you all know, you're also on the ground. You also, have the plant in your fingers every day, and those are the people that need to be beneficiated. Not just the corporates, not just these alliances. And I think that's where our value is, our Ubuntu value. I mean, we keep on talking about this, but there's still these communities that are completely excluded. We laughed this morning when someone said, okay, the bill will say you've got 6 plants, you're okay, and you've got 8 plants, so you're a criminal. That's ridiculous, and that's how whole communities are feeling.
Yeah.
So I think more inclusion, and then be brave. Let's put our stamps down. Let's say this is the way Africa does it, South Africa does it, and to hell with the rest. Actually, yeah.
We need to incorporate some of the stuff that we see
Sure,
around, but
sure.
we need to find our own way. Because it's a different system or different environment to everywhere else. But it's going to have to be unique.
Different customer base, different applications.
We've got the people for it.
Yeah.
We've got the climate for it.
So you were mentioning now the rural oaks that are being left behind, and I'm very excited to hear that you guys are doing a rural, community project.
So you're involved with a lot of community projects.
Yeah.
The nice thing here is, because Grow in Africa is just a facilitator and service provider between these clubs, or amongst these clubs, every single club's got their own community project. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So I mean,
there's many of them going on.
There's many. I mean, there's 23, 24 clubs operational. So 24 MPCs that are actively involved in the communities. I mean, the Oudtshoorn one everybody knows about by now, with the church and everything
Do
happening
you mind
there.
just telling our viewers that haven't?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
a very
incredible.
exciting-
There's the church in Oudtshoorn, the local Catholic church, has got a alcohol fetal syndrome center. They've got a soup kitchen, a homeless shelter, and Father Mark, that was also here for the CannaClub this weekend. He cultivates a bunch of cannabis, and all the money goes straight back into the projects.
Yes.
So, that's just one of the examples. I mean, we can take something like the Toke House. Dave and them up there in the north, they've got an annual golf day that specifically goes to a charity fund. Spot Cafe in Potchefstroom, they've got I think it's beautiful. The potheads have a pothole project, so they go and fix the potholes in the streets. So
that's amazing.
It's amazing because now it's not some kind of a corporate responsibility where a franchise is telling you must do A, B, and C. It's people in a community doing something for the community.
Taking their own initiative.
Exactly, and I think that's the strength in this thing. It's kind of and the stoners want to outdo each other, like really try and outcompete each other. Who can do better?
Who can help more?
That's brilliant.
On a corporate level, if I can call it that, we started getting involved in manufacturing design and local manufacturing of machinery, like trimming machines and decorticators. We've got an interesting electric cargo bike project on the go, and electrical donkey, and everything is locally engineered, locally manufactured. So all those little spin-offs, create opportunities. So I think this month we had 500 odd permanent employment opportunities in the group, and close to 1,000 temporary for the month.
Creating a lot of jobs there.
A lot of opportunities.
It's getting there. I mean, we'd like to see a lot more of that happen. And a lot more projects happening, and not projects where, like I said, it's being forced down from the higher level. It should be community-driven things that actually work.
Yes.
And economically, what kind of benefits do you see cannabis can have in South Africa? We kind of went over it earlier, but just as a more specific...
I think if you just look at the numbers and you see what the relative small monthly turnover in a group like our group and the direct impact it has. I mean, I just mentioned almost 1,500 job opportunities, which means though their dependence, is close to 5-6 times that. So the beauty of this is it can put so much money into so many people's pockets. So not necessarily one fat cat getting richer and richer. There's so many opportunities. And that's what I like about the concept, because slicing up the pie into more slices just, gives everyone the opportunity to decide where they spend their money.
Yeah.
So we try to use that strategy from a corporate perspective where we reduced our membership fees, because why would we take all the money each month and then look for community projects and spend the money on it? Rather give the discount to all 6,000 members so each of them can decide to pay it forward. And I think that's the benefit that the industry brings. There's so many ancillary services, there's so many small little things that needs to happen. I walked through this beautiful project, the Scissor Sisters sitting over here. There's 4 families that are beneficiating just from that little room over there. And I think that's the greatest benefit of this plant, is that in 5 years and 10 years time will be 90% of the products available we don't even know about yet. And the development in that and the ripple effect it has, I think that's what the biggest economic benefit is.
Yes, a lot of industry can still be created, things that aren't even being thought of yet.
Exactly.
Because we've only really been able to play around with it for 4 years now. Like you said earlier, imagine what's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years.
If you can imagine if all these cannapreneurs that's been jumping through all these hoops have been able to apply that effort into developing other things. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to find a way just to make it work within the legal constraints.
I love how you...
Exactly, that makes sense. If you can focus those energies on expanding on other areas.
And more in like the club space, what kind of opportunities can we see arriving more from the actual clubhouses and things like that? Because there's a lot of little things that goes into that, and you've been very involved with them.
Look, outside of just the normal employment opportunities, managers running the place and bud tenders and cultivators and processors, it's also this hub. We found that most of the places, I think most of the places don't allow alcohol, so it's a very ego-free zone. So the opportunities again that arise from there are amongst the members themselves. It's unbelievable to see how many relationships have started there, how many businesses have started from there. So it's like a little launching pad, and I think that's what any social club is supposed to be. It's just a little launching pad where people can come together and make stuff work. There's oaks that are embarking on bigger activities. There's some of the bigger clubs looking into buying properties now, upscaling to opening up lodges and things like that. So, and I really think the sky's the limit. If you get a bunch of stoners in a safe space together where they can discuss, productive things for the future, then the opportunities are endless.
It's
Yeah,
endless.
it's
Endless.
for
Anything
sure.
can happen from there.
Yeah. Or you're just going to finish the fridge like really quickly, empty that out, and you'll never have enough water in the room.
No, amazing. Would you like to take the opportunity just to throw a positive message out there for our listeners?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a stunning time to be alive. I think however you partaking in the cannabis industry, whether you are cultivating or processing or you're just a consumer, you've got a responsibility to make this work and to make this work for our country, and for I'd say for us as a species, we don't have much else going for us at this point. So it's your responsibility to keep stuff tight, Make sure that you vote with your money. Make sure there's traceability on things. Make sure it's good people you're dealing with. Make sure it's been farmed responsibly, manufactured responsibly. Because we're all in this thing together, It's a booming new industry, but we have to build it. And if we sit back and we wait and we complain, then we're going to sit back and wait and complain for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
If we jump in and we pull up our sleeves and we put in a bit of effort, then we can all
benefit from
smoke from the proverbial pipe at the end of the night. But it's super time to be alive, and thanks a lot for especially the stuff that you guys are doing as well. It's stunning to see next generations and younger people and fresh minds coming into the space and being proud of it. It's flipping amazing.
Thank you
That
so
means
much.
a
Really appreciate
lot
it.
coming from
We
you.
appreciate
Happy
it.
days.
Baie dankie, Kobus. Thank you so much.
Lots of respect.
Powerful stuff. You talk so nice and clear, and we appreciate it, man.
Happy days.
Yeah.
And for all our viewers there, go look out for your nearest Grow One Africa club. I'm sure there's one now not too far from where you stay.
Just around the corner, I promise.
Your website and your
the easiest place to reach us is grow1.africa, just all letters. And the same Grow One Africa on all the Facebooks and Instagram. I'm not great with, I live in this world, but you'll find us there.
We'll put some links in there.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Amazing
Thanks,
stuff,
Kobus.
man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for your
having me.
time.
Shot.
Cool.
Ja, dat is dit.
Happy days.
Dankie, bro.
Dankie julle.
Dit beteken vir ons baie.
Ook reeds 30 jaar oud. Ou Bosman het baie vinnig weggespring. Wessel Bosman is baie goed hier die eerste ekkie. Wessel Bosman het Kobus Schoeman in die tweede plek. Freddy van Rensburg wat derde hardloop met Jan Germes, hy's in Narde Swart en is Wessel Bosman en Kobus Schoeman. Tot gelyk die tweede laaste stel ekkies. Ons gaan moet kyk en is Kobus Schoeman wat hierdie wedloop wen met Kobus Schoeman vanaand die wenner.